Welcome to the Mujiwara Sketches YouTube channel, buddy. In today's video, we've got something exciting in store for you, a closer look at the showdown that had the entire One Piece community buzzing, the epic battle between Luffy and Kizaru. The fight between Luffy and Kizaru is over, for now. Fans had high hopes for this fight, but it both lived up to and exceeded those hopes in different ways. Admiral Kizaru was meant to be a major bad guy in One Piece's Egghead arc. He was one of the Navy's top officers and had previously severely beaten the Straw Hat Pirates during their journey. Many people thought that because he was so important to the story, he would be the main bad guy in the end. So, when Monkey D. Luffy fought him in Chapter 1091, Sendamaru, everyone was ready for the long haul. That's the fight that would prove whether Luffy was really as strong as the news said he was, or if he still had some work to do before he could really be called Emperor. Because of all the excitement surrounding this fight, it came as a surprise when it finished only 3 chapters later. In Chapter 1094, the 5 Elders, Godhead of Science and Defense, Saint J. Garcia Saturn, Luffy beat Kizaru, and Saturn himself came out as the real bad guy for the arc. No matter what, Kizaru had more of a plan between the two. Until about 10 chapters ago, no one knew for sure if Saturn was a fighter or not. It's strange how badly Kizaru was beaten after all the work that went into making him an enemy the Straw Hats had to beat. On the other hand, it fits with everything fans have been told about how power works in One Piece. At some point, Kizaru might say something else to make up for what happened in this chapter. Part 1. How is Luffy versus Kizaru expected to go? Luffy should win here because it makes the most sense for the story. When the Straw Hats played against the Admiral, they always lost badly. Since Luffy was 100 times stronger now than he was then, he had to win this fight to show how far he and his team had come. Fans wanted to know how hard the fight was going to be. Different people had different ideas about how this fight should go. Most of them were based on the idea that Kizaru would be the last bad guy in the Egghead arc. Even when it was proven that Saturn would also be visiting the future island, this belief stayed strong because no one knew how strong he was. Like most final fights, Luffy versus Kizaru was expected to last a long time. Kizaru is fast and skilled, making him unbeatable even if Luffy were stronger. Still, Luffy had 2 very important advantages going into this fight. In one way, he just recently became an emperor, both in name and in power. The emperors have always been stronger than the admirals in One Piece, but the admirals could at least put up a good fight. But Luffy had only recently been promoted, so it was still unclear whether he would be able to live up to the title and what his chances were against an admiral. The same thing could be said about Gear 5. This form is strong enough to help Luffy beat Kaido in a strength match, but it's hard to say if he's mastered it since he still gets tired when he uses it. Also, while Kaido was ready to take Luffy's most damaging hits, Kizaru would probably be able to avoid them because he can move at the speed of light. As a result, Luffy would need to be able to change to fit his opponent in order to win in this form. Part 2. Did Luffy versus Kizaru go as expected? Since everyone thought Kizaru would be the last boss in the Egghead arc, how long this fight lasted was a surprise. From the end of Chapter 1091 to the middle of Chapter 1094, the fight went on. That's only 4 chapters, which isn't very many after the final battles that came before. It was also revealed in the last chapter that Saturn would be the last boss of the arc. Unless someone more important shows up, going up against Saturn should be the long, epic final fight that fits the style of the others. Luffy versus Kizaru was what we thought it would be, if a bit short. Gear 5 was enough to beat the Admiral and show that the Emperor deserved to be called that. However, the battle also came down to the wire because Luffy used up all of his change time. He will have to get back into fighting shape to fight Saturn, which should mean he didn't need nearly everything he had to win this fight. The moves Luffy didn't use show that he wasn't sure how strong he was. Luffy's best move right now is his Gum Gum Budgerang gun, which packs a punch strong enough to destroy a small island. He did, however, only need his Gum Gum Star gun to kill Kizaru. Even though this attack is cool and new, it probably doesn't have enough power to be called Luffy's new final move. Kizaru's speed of light wasn't what people thought it would be, which made the difference. Even though he was fast enough to block Gear 4 Snakeman, once Luffy entered Gear 5, his speed stopped being dangerous. It didn't matter if Kizaru was slow or Gear 5 was fast, everything was equal. Another thing that people thought Kizaru would do better than was light speed, but it wasn't a problem. People thought he would use advanced moves like other bad guys do, like Future Sight, Conqueror's Haki, Devil Fruit Awakening, and so on. Even though he had some new moves, none of them showed why he should be one of the Marines' top leaders. Part 3. Is Kizaru's role on Egghead over? Also, Kizaru could have been hurt after Luffy hit him. Chapter 1094 only showed him smashing into a building as Luffy lost his air. It makes the most sense for this to be the end of their fight since Luffy can't fight him anymore. It might be too soon to say that Kizaru will stay down for the rest of the arc, though. The Straw Hats have a long way to go before they can get off of Egghead to get away. They'll probably have to beat Saturn, Lucci, and the 9 Vice Admirals at the very least. Luffy might also have to get back up to help his friends fight Saturn. If he can get stronger and keep fighting until the end of the story, the Admiral should be able to do the same. This doesn't even talk about people like Lucci and Sentomaru, who were probably done and got back up. It doesn't matter what Kizaru did what he had to do to lose. He showed how far Luffy and his crew have come on their journey while still being believable as enemies. There's no telling when he might return as an enemy in a later story arc, even if he's done for now. And that's a wrap, fellow One Piece enthusiasts. We hope you enjoyed our deep dive into the epic clash between Luffy and Kizaru. It's always a pleasure to explore the world of the Grand Line with all of you. If you found this video insightful and entertaining, don't forget to show your support by hitting that like button. And if you haven't already, consider joining our crew by subscribing to the channel. We're on a journey to uncover all the hidden treasures of One Piece, and we'd love to have you along for the adventure. But the adventure doesn't stop here. Stay tuned for our upcoming exploration of this fantastic world that Eiichiro Oda created as we have more exciting One Piece content coming your way. Thank you very much for visiting the Mugiwara Sketches YouTube channel, buddy. We hope you enjoy our funny sketch videos and anime reviews. Don't forget to subscribe to continue joining us on our joyful journey in the world of anime. If you have any wishes, questions, or suggestions for our next videos, feel free to express your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you very much for your support, and until we meet again. See you next time, buddy.